What happens when heartbreak collides with loyalty? In the aftermath of Elvis Presley's tragic passing, a decision was made that stunned those closest to him, igniting tension in an already grief-stricken family. Priscilla Presley, navigating unimaginable loss and public scrutiny, took a stand that rippled through the inner circle, leaving everyone wondering what could drive her to oppose a deeply personal choice made by Vernon Presley, Elvis's own father. Stay tuned as we uncover the emotional depths and surprising truths behind this moment that shook those who loved the king. The year 1977 marked the end of an extraordinary era. The world was shaken to its core with the news of Elvis Presley's passing, a loss that reverberated far beyond his music. Fans mourned the king of rock and roll, whose voice and charisma had defined a generation. But while the public grieved the untimely loss of an icon, a more private and complex story unfolded behind the gates of Graceland, one filled with heartbreak, loyalty, and surprising decisions that would later become the subject of intrigue. At the heart of this emotional story were two women who had loved Elvis in very different ways. Priscilla Presley, his ex-wife, had been a vital part of his life even after their divorce, co-parenting their daughter, Lisa Marie, and maintaining a unique bond with Elvis up until his final days. Linda Thompson, Elvis's girlfriend for nearly 5 years, had shared some of his most vulnerable moments. She had been more than just a companion. She was his caretaker, offering support during the most challenging chapters of his life. Both women had played pivotal roles in his world, but their paths were about to collide in the wake of his death. Amidst the sorrow and chaos, Vernon Presley, Elvis's father, faced the impossible task of arranging his son's funeral. Overwhelmed with grief yet determined to honor Elvis's memory, Vernon made a decision that revealed the depth of his relationships with those closest to his son. However, this choice would spark tension within the inner circle, forcing emotions to run high and leaving lingering questions about loyalty, legacy, and love. What followed was a series of events that blurred the lines between duty and personal feelings, creating a moment of drama that would remain etched in memory. As the Presley family reeled from the devastating loss of Elvis, Vernon Presley, his grieving father, sought to gather those who had held a special place in his son's life. Among them was Linda Thompson, a woman who had stood by Elvis during some of his most challenging years. In an act of compassion and respect, Vernon extended an invitation to Linda to travel to Memphis aboard the Lisa Marie, Elvis's private jet, ensuring she could bid her final farewell. For Vernon, it was a gesture that acknowledged Linda's importance not just to Elvis, but to the family as well, a moment of connection in the midst of overwhelming sorrow. For Linda, the invitation was profoundly meaningful, a recognition of the bond she had shared with Elvis and his family. Her years with the king had been marked by love, care, and unwavering loyalty, and Vernon's call reinforced the deep respect they shared. She felt honored to be included in such a deeply personal moment, one that would allow her to join others who had loved Elvis at his final resting place. Yet, as she began to make preparations, an unexpected obstacle arose, bringing her gratitude and hope to a screeching halt. Priscilla Presley, navigating her own grief and the intense spotlight of public attention, was not comfortable with Linda's presence on the Lisa Marie. Citing concerns about media sensationalism and the potential for a public spectacle, Priscilla ultimately decided against the arrangement. She feared that the sight of Elvis's two significant past loves arriving together might overshadow the solemnity of the funeral. Her decision, while rooted in her protective instincts, created a quiet but palpable tension, setting the stage for a conflict that reflected the complex dynamics of love, loyalty, and legacy in the Presley family. Linda Thompson's reaction to the rejection was a mix of confusion and heartbreak, a moment she later described with raw honesty in her memoir. She had loved Elvis deeply, shared years of her life with him, and built genuine relationships with his family, especially Vernon Presley. Being told she could not join the others on the Lisa Marie felt like a sudden dismissal of her place in Elvis's world. Torn between her gratitude for Vernon's invitation and the hurt caused by Priscilla's decision, Linda wrestled with how to respond. In the end, she chose to avoid confrontation, recognizing the overwhelming grief and chaos of the moment. Linda resolved to honor Elvis's memory in her own way, even if it meant setting aside her own feelings to preserve peace during such a fragile time. On the other side, Priscilla Presley faced her own internal struggles. Grieving the loss of a man who had defined much of her life while shouldering the weight of public scrutiny, Priscilla's decisions were undoubtedly shaped by immense stress. In 1977, the media's relentless attention on Elvis and his family added a layer of complexity to every choice she made. Priscilla feared that sharing the private jet with Linda might spark sensational headlines, shifting the focus from Elvis's solemn farewell to a speculative narrative about his personal life. Her protective instincts over Elvis's legacy and her own role in it drove her to make a decision that, while controversial, was rooted in her desire to maintain dignity amid the storm of public attention. These conflicting emotions, swirling in a moment of collective mourning, revealed just how deeply grief and loyalty intertwined for those closest to the king. In the somber aftermath of Elvis's funeral, amidst the quiet chaos of grief, an unexpected moment unfolded at Graceland. Priscilla Presley, weighed down by the enormity of the previous days, sought out Linda Thompson. Her demeanor was markedly different from before, less guarded, more reflective. In a rare and candid exchange, Priscilla expressed her regret for the decisions she had made, acknowledging the immense stress she was under. She admitted that her actions had been shaped by the overwhelming pressure of the moment rather than a reflection of her true feelings toward Linda. It was a vulnerable admission, one that revealed the emotional toll of navigating a public tragedy under the relentless gaze of the world. Linda, though still carrying the sting of rejection, responded with remarkable grace. She listened as Priscilla spoke, understanding that grief had pushed them all to their limits. In her memoir, Linda later described how, in that moment, she chose to let go of her pain and embrace empathy. She recognized the unique challenges Priscilla faced as Elvis's former wife and a mother trying to protect their daughter during a deeply personal and public loss. Rather than dwell on the hurt, Linda chose to focus on the shared sorrow that bound them, a testament to her strength and the deep connection they both felt to Elvis. What followed was an unexpected yet profoundly moving moment between the two women. Priscilla, with tears in her eyes, thanked Linda for being there for Elvis during some of his darkest times. She spoke of how knowing Linda had cared for him with such devotion had brought her comfort, even if she hadn't expressed it before. For Linda, hearing those words validated the years she had spent by Elvis's side. In that brief but powerful exchange, the two women found a sense of closure, united by their love for a man whose impact on their lives and the world would never fade. It was a poignant reminder of the complexities of love, loss, and the bonds that endure beyond them. The emotional landscape surrounding Elvis Presley's passing was far more intricate than the public could have imagined. It wasn't just the loss of an icon that those closest to him grappled with. It was the collision of grief, love, and the weight of his legacy. For his family and those who had been intimately connected to him, mourning wasn't confined to a single moment. It was entangled with the complexities of their relationships and the deep emotional ties they carried. Every decision, no matter how small, seemed to reverberate with significance, revealing the delicate balance between honoring the man they loved and managing their own heartbreak. In such extraordinary circumstances, emotions ran high, and even the strongest bonds were tested in unexpected ways. In the end, the story of Elvis Presley is not just one of music or fame, but of the people who devoted themselves to preserving the essence of who he was. His life left an indelible mark, not only on his fans, but also on those who knew him intimately and had shared his joys and struggles. Their actions in the wake of his passing reflect a profound truth. Love and loyalty often drive us to make difficult choices, even when the path forward isn't clear. Elvis's legacy, then, is as much about the enduring power of his music as it is about the people who cherished him and the lengths they went to ensure his memory would never fade. It's a legacy of complexity, of love and sacrifice that continues to captivate the world. What do you think about Priscilla's decision? Was it a justified reaction to an emotional and stressful situation, or could things have been handled differently? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your opinions in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and hit that subscribe button for more captivating untold stories about Elvis Presley's life and legacy. Make sure to check out our other videos to dive even deeper into the King's incredible story.